In this video, we're going to be talking about a few things that I've learned as an actor and a lifelong performer about how to be more confident and comfortable on camera. So a little background on me. I've been acting since I was about 6 or 7 years old. I've done film, television, commercial, about all the different things. Kudos to my mom, Allie, for taking me to all the auditions and the many sets and prioritizing that as a part of our lives and giving me that opportunity as a child. What was that like for you as a mom? Why did you choose to get us into that?
I was never interested in being like a stage mommy or anything like that. My motivation was pretty simple. First of all, I wanted you to have the ability to discern reality from fiction and fantasy. So the first thing was I wanted to make sure that all of my kids were able to watch a movie of any kind, because I was a sensitive kid and I wasn't fragile, but the truth is that movies affected me a lot. And I've come to know it's kind of an empathic or a sensitivity that I have around people, that I feel their pain. So movies affected me a lot. And I wanted you to have a little bit of a buffer so that you were more immune to some of the effects of movies and media than I was. So number one was being able to, by going to auditions and seeing behind the curtain, just like the Wizard of Oz, you essentially would see fake blood, fake monsters, fake everything. This is something we are creating, but it's not something to go home and have nightmares about. The second reason was I wanted you to have that confidence that you could go into any room. I knew this would be the thing. If you could go into a room as a little kid by yourself, your parents aren't allowed to go in there with you. Feel prepared, present themselves. Both you and Sebastian and Jean-Christian also did some auditioning. If you could present yourselves on camera to these strangers and walk back out of that room and go back to your life, that there's pretty much no door you couldn't open and there's nothing you could fear. There's no person that would be able to intimidate you. And I think it worked.
But then it worked.
We realized there is a transition from that perfect childhood to adulthood that I didn't anticipate you would still have a speed bump in the middle. So I wanted to talk about that.
I didn't know that was one of your motivations in getting us kids into it, but I think, first of all, very wise, and second, I think it worked pretty well, because I do feel wildly empowered as an adult to, go after what I want and walk into any room and ask for what I need and ask for a raise and ask for a job and ask for somebody's time and attention. And so for you, the viewer,
if I wasn't your mom, maybe now through this channel, like, how can we help them, teaching them things that you've learned? As like, if I'm not your mom, how can I be an influence for good in some way?
So for you, the viewer, if you are starting a YouTube channel, if you have a YouTube channel, if you are an author or a host or a speaker or an actor or a performer, or in any way trying to be a public figure, connect with people, with individuals, I would say one of the main things that I've learned from this whole lifetime, being a performer, being an entertainer, and booking jobs, walking into that audition room, is something that gives me the confidence that I have, is the knowledge that I am going to be the worst critic of myself. People tend to be far more generous with us than we assume they are. So I have a lot of friends who want to get into acting or modeling or performance right now at this point in their lives. And I have friends who are really concerned about, well, what are people going to think of me if I do this? Or, I want to share it, but my family is not supportive, and whatever it is. 90% of that is in your head. You show up, you do your thing, and if you're doing it from a space of authenticity and kindness and love, most of the time people are going to see that and they're going to feel that. If you're doing it inauthentically, that's, I think, where the criticisms that we are concerned about in our minds will come to fruition. Because people can feel it when you're being fake. They can feel it when you have an agenda. So, yeah, through that kind of roundabout way, knowing that you are going to be meaner to yourself than anybody else, you can trust that if you're being authentic and you're bringing your whole self to a performance or your YouTube channel or whatever it is, people are going to receive you. Maybe not all the people. There are always going to be people who are unkind or people who judge or people who just don't understand. But 9 times out of 10, when you bring your heart to something, the people that you're intending to reach will see you, they'll hear you, they'll receive you, and you're going to find a community from doing that. Something really cool that I read earlier this year was don't be the one to tell yourself no. That's been a real game changer in my mind. Because we do this to ourselves where we jump into a room or we won't apply for that job or we won't start the YouTube channel or we won't do this or that because we assume other people are going to judge us or be unkind to us or be the critic or just tell us no.
Right.
But you can't even get the no if you don't show up and do it, if you don't ask, if you don't perform, if you don't put the video out there.
Yeah. There's something interesting as I listen to you, like my motive in the beginning, and this is what I do as a producer as well, helping clients or new people, and this is our hope too for our channel, is that those who are waiting in the wings to start will just start. After all this work behind the camera and also being behind you guys, I realized in some ways I had so much joy in helping others that I wasn't maybe going forward quite enough for myself in business and in also in film. I have some screenplays that I'm working on getting funded. I have a lot of things that I still want to do. And I realized at some point, it worked so well and you guys had so much confidence and ability that I realized I need to catch up. I need to catch up, and I didn't feel left behind or anything like, oh no, I'm living my dreams through my kids and now they're conquering it and I'm left behind. Right. But as Alicia and I created this segment of our business, as we've had the cinematic side of our business, now we have this marketing side. I realized as a businesswoman, I also need to step up and go into the room with that same confidence to say, this is what we provide. I talked about in another video that will connect here about having that confidence. The idea, it's a biblical idea, but it says perfect love casteth out all fear. Don't worry if people don't receive what you gave. If you gave it with your full heart and good intentions, it kind of doesn't matter if they receive it or not. And that's my best motivator. Anytime I write a script or I prepare content for a client, or I take a client through an entire 6-month or 18-month program and I see that they have progressed so far, and then maybe they, at that point, it's like, I want to take my channel over from here and see what I can do. Even though I'll miss them, I realize I gave everything to help them improve and look at all of that progress. It's very rewarding. And then to further that, for finding new clients, as Alicia and I meet more and more people to bring in for this studio to help, it's kind of like you with that audition phase. So you and I felt like needed to grow up on the same plane. Eventually, those perfect casting of, she's adorable, you got the part, or same with Sebastian. Hey kid, that was great. Can you go work next Friday? And they come out of the room, I got the part, which they don't usually tell you the day of. Then you still had that hiccup into adulthood where not everyone's waiting for the next adorable kid to come in. And it's more than being adorable. Or sometimes they just want adorable. How have you made that transition from child actor, performer to adult now who's also working, you run entire sets as a first AD, first assistant director, who's the person saying, quiet please, and running the whole set, the voice of the set. How has that transitioned for you?
I've had to learn how to tap into my inner child, which is, I think, the second point that we want to make in this video, is learning as an adult to bring out what we have as children, which is inherent
courage.
Yeah.
I can do that. I mean, little kids say, I can do that.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ride that bike.
Think of the way a toddler is going to show up with their emotions, with their experience, with their offering, whatever that may be. If they are hungry, you're going to know. if they're angry, if they're upset about something, if they're happy, if they want to dance, they're just going to dance. This has actually been my mantra for the last 6 months or so. What if I didn't care what other people thought of me? This has been something that goes through my mind regularly. If a bop is going on in the grocery store and I start shuffling my feet a little bit and I'm dancing in the aisle by myself and then somebody walks down the aisle, with this mantra in mind, I've been trying to catch myself in the moments where I censor. Like, oh, they're going to, I shouldn't dance in this aisle because somebody's walking. No, I'm going to dance in the aisle like a crazy person. I'm trying to tap into that inner child. Mm-hmm. And this inner child work, I mean, there's a whole sector of like doing therapy for that and realizing the moments where maybe this hurt or that hurt. But as a performer, as a speaker, as a host, as a YouTuber, the parts of yourself, the parts of that inner child that you want to bring out are going to be the parts that people love the most. So
it's true. You think of performers, the Jack Blacks of the world.
Yes.
We love to see him try everything and anything. We love to see him audaciously proclaim what he is. I mean, Tenacious D, I saw them the first time on Letterman with his superhero outfit. I was mesmerized. Like, I don't know who this kid is. He's amazing as a performer. He has filled the whole room, as we talked about in another video, to show up in a room. For you, what does that mean? If you have doubts, I've been doing some work on this for myself to embrace that confidence, is just write down all your false beliefs of why you can't do it, and then go through those and say, why maybe those aren't true. A good friend of ours, Ursula Menches, who also has a channel, she has this whole system for that. And I think that's important to do. As soon as you censor yourself, to stop and say, why isn't that true? And then just keep plowing forward. I think it's important also to know, even though my kids have a band, they're musicians, singers, actors, they are filmmakers. I never went into this, like I said, to create fake people or to just try to be important vicariously through you.
Yeah.
I always thought this is an attempt to make you more genuine and real so that anything that's fake can be thrown out. What are your thoughts on how to not become fake in a world Hollywood can be pretty fake and dangerous?
I mean, I would argue that the greatest actors, the greatest performers are not acting. They're not giving a performance. They're feeling genuine emotions. They're offering genuine emotions. And they're offering gifts of the heart, whatever that may be. And that's something that, I do a lot of things. I'm an actor, I'm a musician, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a writer, I'm a photographer, I'm a colorist, I'm, the list goes on and on. I'm a sound engineer. Yeah. I do so many different things, and I'm asked the question quite often, well, what's your favorite? What do you like to do? And the answer that I've given for a while is I'm a storyteller. And the reason that answer resonates is because it doesn't really matter which tools that I'm using. I'm telling human stories. I'm offering gifts from my own heart in whatever way, shape, or form they come. And when I do that, I connect with people. I find my people and my people find me. It really is, people don't want a performance. They want you. My people who support me the most and the strongest resonate with this person that I am. And whether I'm singing a song or even playing a character who's really far off from who I am, really different from who I am, I have a shadow side. I have anger. I have hurt. I have darkness inside of me, as well as light and love and kindness that I want to share. Those are the emotions that I as an individual try to lean into, but I can't disacknowledge that shadow part of myself, the weaknesses, the parts that people hate, usually the things that I hate about other people. If I look hard enough, I see the mirror reflecting back at me, and I'm like, oh no, that's actually the reason that triggers me and bothers me so much, is because that's something that's within myself that I haven't learned to accept as a part of myself. And so if you're looking to grow an audience, grow a community, build something, build your empire, build your nation, you have to do that from a place of authenticity. And that's something that I hope that I'm doing with all of my different ventures, that it's something that I feel like we're doing with this channel, is just bringing our genuine hearts, our gifts, bringing value to people in all the different ways that we can do that. And when you're offering the gifts of your heart, people feel it. So don't come over here with your YouTube persona. Hey guys, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, smash that like,
you gotta smash
ring that bell, make sure you get your notifications. I guess it's worked for some people, but it's worked. That's not what I resonate with.
It worked for someone, and then it became a thing people felt they needed to do.
It became inauthentic. Maybe, the first person who did that, it worked for them because that was their actual personality. But you can't come on to YouTube and curate a personality based on the 15 YouTubers that you love. You just have to bring what it is that you are. And maybe nobody's done that yet. Maybe it's what you are is wholly different. And you're going to feel like, oh, maybe there's not a space for this because there's no model for success. And I don't know how to keyword this, what I am. I often get in my head, I'm like, well, how do I market what I am? What's my brand? I'm like, my brand is me. And at this point, I just need to put me out there to be able to see the results of that. But I'm so confident that anybody who brings their heart into what they're doing is going to see the results of that.
You've got to care about what you're doing. Everything we're doing here on this channel is basically to provide tools and confidence and all the skills that you need to break through any fear that you might have had, whether it's technological, if it's camera. That's the last thing you should be worrying about. Get in the headspace. Know you have a community here. We'd love for you to subscribe because we do have the intention to bring you a lot of, I think, content that people haven't seen. And with your life growing up on camera as a little kid, there wasn't TikTok or any of these other things back then. I never knew that the whole world would start to be on camera. I think the point is now, be genuine, be yourself, overcome those hurdles, be kind to those around you, and know there's space for us and you to both succeed. So join our community by subscribing, and we would love to provide more videos for you. Just put in the comments what more you'd like to hear from any of our team, and we'll make sure to make more videos for that.